Hi guys and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the brand new model from Nautieye, the NE650 backup light, or as I like to call it, primary light. We're gonna take a look at what's included usually in the actual box when you buy it. We're gonna take a look at some of the features of this flashlight battery charger, what I can recommend you, what kinds of modes it has, and of course we're jumping underwater to test the actual performance of it in the diving environment, followed by some pros and cons. So let's get the video started. The light itself, as you can already see, it's a very tiny, a very compact and a very small sized light. It packs quite a bit of a punch with around 650 lumens. It has a very good beam angle. I dived it on around 3 night dives and a few day dives already, and I really have to say you can even use it as a primary light if you're a normal we could say recreational diver and you don't need the actual power. So 650 lumens are more than enough for a normal small diving light, even if used as a primary light, just to light out some surfaces underwater, some small overhangs, or even on a night dive. It's actually even more than enough on the high mode. I was even dimming it down to the middle mode. In the actual package we also have 2 adapters, and these are quite interesting. The light itself can be operated with 3 AAA cells, alkaline or nickel metal hydride cells, and this one offers this light a very big variety of options to power it. Although as these ones are a bit, we could say wider or need to be wider, we have a little adapter to use our 18650 battery in, so it fits well in the light and is not juggling around. Although it might seem a little bit bigger, it does not fit in the 26650. I've tried, unfortunately it does not fit in. I will show you in the light itself, but it's a bit too thick to fit into the light, unfortunately. Otherwise we could use it, but then the tube, the actual battery casing, would get a bit even thicker. But before we get to this, also included we always have standard 1 set of spare O-rings. Comes already a little bit looped inside. I really like it. It's always great to have a fitting spare kit of O-rings included. The manual itself, which you can see here, is a very simple, a very easy thing, and we have some things here. We can see that we have around 650 lumens when using it with a lithium ion cell, with an 18650 in this case, and around 350 to 400 lumens when using an alkaline or nickel metal hydride cell. The voltage of these two ends up being quite the same. The only difference how the light will dim down is by the actual current draw it gets from the battery supply. So in this case it will very easy do this by itself, but the batteries are made so they are all in series. So in the end we also have at least 4.5 or around 4.5 volts with full alkaline batteries in this adapter. So in the end the voltage is almost the same. We have around 10 degrees of a beam angle underwater stated here. I think this one should be more or less at 10 degrees. And we have a nice XMLU2, so you can see a perfect LED, works very well. It's a proven LED used in most diving lights, so there is nothing to go wrong with. We have some of the actual, we could say, accessories, but these ones we already took a look. Okay, but what I really want to show you is here on the back the battery level indicator. You can see here there are 2 colors, and these colors are around the actual bottom, very easily visible. We have the green and the red. The green is when the power of the battery is still enough charged, and the red it starts when it goes around 30% of the remaining power in the battery. Once it gets quite low, it will start to blink red, and this is this small thing here. And indicator is flashing red. The brightness output will go down to 20%. This means the output will drive down to only a 20% output compared to the normal higher output, and this will give you around 10 minutes, as it says here. It will shut down, turn off after 10 minutes. So this is a good shut off feature. It will warn you, of course, before it turns red first of all, then it turns flashing red, goes down to 20%, and only after 10 minutes it will completely shut off. So this means you don't have to use protected cells. You can use a normal unprotected lithium ion cell without having to worry about it over this charging. Now I already opened the light and you can see here a wonderful design. We have 2 clean O-rings, we have a lot of spacing in between the thread and the O-ring, so I really like the way they did this. This looks really clean, really professionally made, and not like amateur, like other, we could say, eBay cheaper lights I have tried, tested. So this one is a very good one, I really have to tell you. On this side we can see that we have a spring also on the positive side, so we can use the flat top batteries. This means the actual 18650, like I have one right here laying around, this one is a flat top 18650. So in this one you can also use, in this light, some lights you need a actual button top. This means a top which comes up a little bit so it can actually reach the contact. In this one, in this light, you can use any type of battery. Of course, I'm using my good cell, so we are sure to have the actual output as it should be on the maximum 650 lumen. So here we go. I'm using the adapter, pulling the 18650 battery inside, but before I put it in the actual battery tube, I want to show you the 26650 just barely does not fit inside. Yeah. Would need around 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters more, and it would fit inside. So the 18650, there it goes inside as usual, negative pole first, positive pole goes to the driver, in this case to the head, and we close the light back down again. Very good made thread, you can hear it and see it yourself, it goes very clean and easy inside. This is something I really like on this light, and there we go, it's closed. The light itself will not come on, you have to do it yourself. So in this case you have to keep it pressed for 3 seconds, and there we go, the light comes on. 650 lumens at our disposal. In this case we can again press the switch and it will go down to the mid mode. If we press it again, we go to the low mode, and this will cycle through all the time. There is no way of going out by just pressing it once. Before we finish, we have a wonderful power indicator here, and this one I really like because it's very strong. So when you are underwater, this power indicator will give you a lot of light, so even in a very bright environment during the day you can easily read off the power indication. So this is very good compared to some weaker indicators I have known before. So pressing the switch again long, the light will turn off. Now there is a function of using the flash and the SOS mode on this light. For that, you have to keep the switch pressed for around 5 seconds. And after it comes on, keep it still pressed until it starts to go into the SOS mode. And there we have, this one is the SOS mode, and if you press it again, you go into the flashing, very quick strobe mode. And again, you can circle in between those two, and keeping it pressed for 2 seconds will switch off the light. So this is a way of not having to go every time into this flash, strobe and SOS mode, but you have it integrated if you would need it someday. Good. In the front we can see the reflector looks really clean. From this angle you can see perfectly in the camera, it fills out the reflector perfectly, so we have a good and very nice throw of light. And the actual spot, as you can see, it's not too spotty but also not too wide. The actual spot is more or less this big. It's difficult to see in the camera, but it's a great throw for a normal diving light if you light up some surfaces or some spaces. Something I also like on this one is the actual wrist strap. It's not that long, it's not so long like on other lights. Some really have it really long. Of course you can shorten it, and there is my tip. There is inside this usually a small knot, and this one I can't feel it right now, but there is definitely a knot somewhere here inside, and you can pull it out and shorten it if you need it and put the knot back in. So that's a good thing. You can't do it on this one. Yeah, it's already short, but it's perfect to use it on your actual wrist. It's good, it's not too long, so like this you have still some control. If this thing it's this long, the actual strap, yeah, the actual wrist strap, then it's of course difficult to make sure it does not bounce against somewhere, because we don't wanna, well, damage the actual appearance of the light. So in this case, a lot of talking, but the strap, I like that it's short as it is. Wonderful. So of course we have an adapter, we have a possibility to use alkaline batteries. I can always recommend you, and please take a look at the environment, use rechargeable batteries, because you can use them many more times than always having to dispose the actual non-rechargeable ones. So take a look at them. If you're planning on using the light more than once or twice, definitely go, please, with the rechargeable ones. Wonderful. So now I would say let's jump into the water and let's see how the actual light performs underwater. We have some nice videos prepared, so let's just check how the Nautieye NE650 performs underwater. Alright guys, so I hope you could see more or less how the Nautieye NE650 performs underwater in real diving circumstances and in a real diving environment, which is the most important, for me at least, when I'm buying a diving light, to see how it performs where I'm gonna be using it. So, the light itself, as I told you, to have a little bit of a pros and cons, is very small, very compact, very easy built, so it fits easily in my hand. It's a very nice and small torch. Definitely a recommendation as a backup light if you're doing a little bit of a tech diving or something even deeper into something where you need at least 1 or 2 backup lights. It's a very tiny thing, and with one lithium-ion battery inside, with a proper 18650 with around 600 lumens of output, you have at least 3 to 4 hours of runtime. So that's a very good thing. Using a good battery inside, you can have a very long backup, very long-lasting backup light. The power indicator definitely brings us a lot of features which let us know simply when the power is getting low, so this is a very good thing, of course, to have even on a small backup light. And definitely the switch is also a good thing. We have 3 modes, and of course we also have the option, the ability to use the flash strobe and also the Sos mode. In the front, as I already said, the reflector itself is very nicely filled out. We also don't see this every day, so here in the camera I'm trying to show you, you can perfectly see how the yellow distributes over the whole reflector, and this will give us a very good and even throw of light. Even though it's focused, but it gives us a very even, all the way around 360 degrees, very even spot. And sometimes when this is not properly filled out and the LED is not properly centered, it sometimes gives us a spot which is somehow not really on the spot. So sometimes there's more light on one side of the point or on the other side. This is typical when the LED is not properly centered. Something I also like a lot is simply the O-ring design, or the way the thread is made. It goes really clean. Yeah, it's something I usually don't really have on many lights. It really works so clean that you almost don't feel any resistance. So this is another good pro thing. Something I would say it's contra, or something which is maybe not so nice on this light, is that we have a Cree XML which can go up over 1000 lumen. We can drive it with an 18650, so we could have a few more lumens, maybe 800, 900, maybe almost 1000 lumens, but this is the way the light is. 650. Nautieye also has a model which goes up to 1200 with the same LED. So maybe if you need a few more lumens and also an 18650 powered battery light, definitely maybe go with the stronger one. Alright, so not much more to say about the actual light. I hope that you generally enjoyed the review, enjoyed the underwater footage. It's always a pleasure on making this for you guys. And always remember, this is not an advertisement, this is not a paid endorsement for any of the companies which I have here. This is a real and my honest opinion about the lights or the products which I am reviewing. So guys, I hope to see you next time in my channel again. I wish you always a good and safe diving.